And church number 41 is real exciting. It's in Northwest Dallas. It's called The Grove. We're thrilled about it, and I want to introduce you to Stephen Lohoefer. He's going to be the campus pastor of The Grove. He's one of the most talented leaders I know. We're blessed to have him as part of our church, and he's in charge of The Grove.
Thank you, Paul. It's like getting the keys to a new Porsche. It's kind of fun. So it is exciting to be talking about campus number 41, and we're calling it The Grove because as a church, the definition of a grove is a group of fruit-producing trees, and that's what we want to be as a church. To take what Paul has already talked about today in his sermon, we are blessed in order to be a blessing to others. And so we're excited to get started in Northwest Dallas. Let me tell you a little bit about where we are. We're at 635 in the tollway, roughly. We're the southwest corner. If you know where Jesuit is, we're west of Jesuit. If you know where Hockaday is, we are north of Hockaday. And we're immediately north of W.T. White High School, if you're familiar with any of those schools. Now, what's exciting about this is we start new churches so that we can reach new people. And that's why new campuses matter, because people are involved and people are at stake. There's no more effective way, there's no better way to reach new people than new churches. 2,000 years ago, Jesus gathered a group of disciples together and he said, I want you to go and make more disciples. And 700 million Christians later, HP is still leading the charge about what it means to make new disciples. In fact, new churches, check this out, new churches are 10 times more likely to attract people than existing churches are. 10 times more likely to attract people than existing churches. And what's so exciting is the neighborhood that we are in kind of a 3-mile radius, there's 70,000 people who have no affiliation and no relationship with the church. That's 70,000 people who we get to share the message and the gospel of Jesus Christ with. That's marriages and families and kids and relationships that get exposed to the healing and transformative power of the gospel. And that happens best through a new church. And so we are so excited about the people that we get to reach. But not only are we excited about the people we get to reach, we're excited about the people and their lives that we get to impact. You see, just north of us, there's an elementary school called Nathan Adams Elementary. And just south of us, there is a high school called W.T. White High School. Together, those two schools have over 3,000 students in them. 90% of those 3,000 students are identified as at risk or disadvantaged. They get sent home with food on the weekends because the school districts aren't confident that they're going to have enough food over the course of the weekend, and they'll show up hungry on Monday morning. And so from day one, we're going to build a ministry that reaches into the schools to give them help and hope where they need it most. I heard a statistic a couple months ago, and it broke my heart. The Texas prison systems forecast how many beds to build based on third-grade literacy rates. So that means as third graders struggle to read, our prison populations start building more beds. And so we're going to do something about that at Nathan Adams Elementary. We're going to develop a reading mentoring program to increase the literacy of those students. And we want to make sure that beginning at Nathan Adams, every third grader who moves to the 4th grade knows how to read at the grade level that they're supposed to be at. And then just south of us at W.T. White High School, 2,500 students, their biggest need and their biggest challenge is they don't have adults in their lives who know how to help them navigate the college application and admissions process. My dad said, fill out your applications. It's due in a week. Hurry, come on, you got to do this. I'm sure maybe you have parents in your lives who did this or encouraged you to do that. These kids don't have that. They don't have adults who have a confidence in the advanced education system. And so we're going to make sure that we put men and women in their lives who do and who can advocate for them on their behalf, because we know that when you feed a child, that's great for a day. But when you can help that child get access to college, it changes the trajectory of that child's life for the rest of their lives. And really, as a church, that's what we're about. We are in the life transformation business. 15 years ago, I walked into a church because I had started down a road that was going to end really bad. I was in college, and the lifestyle that I was living didn't have a good outcome and forecast for me if I continued it. So I did the one thing that I knew how to do. I walked into a local church, and that local church helped me encounter the message of the gospel and the good news of Jesus Christ. And it reoriented my trajectory in a way that I could have never imagined. And then 10 years ago, I walked into a different local church, this local church. And through leadership and mentor training, through Paul and John Fiedler and other ministers on staff, it helped me explore my calling to ministry, and it totally changed my life. The local church saved my life. And I imagine some of you today, it's done the same for you. It saved your marriages, or your children, your families, your relationships. The local church is the hope of the world. And this work that we are doing is the most important work we can be about.